Welcome back to the Thrifty Food Plan channel, friends. I'm so excited that you're here. This video is going to be a little different because I want to talk about how to keep our food costs low when we are trying to substitute meat out. And there are a lot of different reasons why we might do that. I eat mostly a whole food plant-based diet on the advice of my doctor because my body's got some healing to do, and it's something he recommended to me. That said, when the college phenom comes home from college, she does eat meat. And sometimes I still try to do like a meatless Monday for her, with her when she's here. So, just want to talk a little bit about how to keep food costs low when we are trying to do a meatless Monday or otherwise integrate some meatless meals into our plans. So I'm going to focus on a bowl of spaghetti because it's something that a lot of folks eat. If you're gluten free, you can get the gluten free pasta. It might cost a little more, but spaghetti is something that shows up on a lot of people's meal plans. And this is sort of my base recipe. I know there are a lot of different ways to make spaghetti, but when I make my sauce, I chop up half an onion, peel and chop up, dice up 2 carrots. I do a little water saute with those just to get them soft. I use a can of crushed tomatoes and some Italian seasoning. And if I'm serving 4 people, I would use half a pound of pasta. And so the base cost for that, and this is based on current costs at my local Kroger, the base cost for that meal would be $2.48. Now, I can eat the pasta just like this. The pasta does have some protein in it, and this tastes really good to me. And I know many of us like to add in some additional protein to our spaghetti. So the usual meat option would be to add in some ground beef. And, this is the current price at my Kroger equivalent. And I'm going to assume that if you're watching the Thrifty Food Plan channel, you probably make more than one meal out of a pound of beef. So I'm going to say we use a half a pound of beef to make this bowl of spaghetti, which, you pull those two prices together and the base price is $4.62. You also then would have a half a pound of beef that you could use to make another meal, which helps us be cost effective. So this is what like the usual meat option for spaghetti might look like. It would cost $4.62 to make, and you would have another half a pound of meat left over that you could use for chili or even to make burgers for 2 people. A lot of different things you could do with that ground meat. So usually when people are thinking about making a swap for a meat product, they think about going to one of the processed versions of a swap. And one of the most popular ones are the Impossible grounds, the Impossible beef. They do mimic meat in a lot of different ways. And I want to tell you, do not do this. The Good Food Institute has a report out, which I will link below, that kind of talks about how these highly processed plant-based options actually cost far, far more than regular meat and animal products. So as you can see here, the darker blue bar is the price of the plant-based alternative, something like the Impossible grounds. And on average, those are priced 43% higher than the actual meat option from an animal, right? So do not buy the plant-based alternative that's been processed and packaged for you, because this is what it will look like. So currently at my Kroger, 12 ounces, not even a full pound, 12 ounces of the Impossible plant-based beef is priced at $8.99. And that would mean that if you halved it, just like you would half your pound of ground beef, your cost of making a bowl of spaghetti would be $6.98. And that's $2.36 more expensive than the meat. Plus, you'd only have 6 ounces of impossible meat, faux meat, left over for another meal, which is 2 ounces less than the ground beef. So clearly, this swap is not cost effective, just not cost effective. What I want to suggest you do instead when you're doing Meatless Mondays is, or other meatless meals, is to substitute a whole plant food. What I substitute into my spaghetti are lentils. So right now at my Kroger, you can get a pound of lentils for $1.79, a whole pound. And the thing about lentils is when you cook them, they do get a little bigger. So you only need about a third of the pound, 5.3 ounces of the dry lentils, to make a bowl of spaghetti, which means the cost using lentils instead of meat and instead of impossible faux meat, the cost of making a bowl of spaghetti with lentils is $3.08. That's $1.54 cheaper than the meat option. Plus, we're going to have 2/3 of a pound, about 10.66 ounces left of the lentils, which, depending on what you make, tacos, nachos, even a chili, that's enough for 2 additional meals, not the one meal like ground beef. So, my pro tips when you are thinking about Meatless Mondays or other meatless meals: in order to keep your costs low, do not buy the processed meat replacement products. Just don't buy them. Find another substitute using a whole plant food or minimally processed plant food that you can swap in for the meat to keep your costs low and potentially lower. So I'd really be interested to hear some of your tips and tools that you use if you do a Meatless Monday or try to integrate meatless meals into your diet. What are some of the tips and tools that you use to keep your prices low? And if you'd like me to make some additional videos kind of talking about cost-effective swaps, please drop that in the comments below as well. There are other ideas that I have beyond spaghetti, if those would be interesting to you. As always, I just thank you so much for coming to the Thrifty Food Plan channel. Please do hit that like button. Please subscribe. And please come back on Thursday when we'll have another grocery haul and meal plan. Thanks so much for visiting.